But a guy who will be missed, the legend, Adam Vinatieri, calling it quits after 24 years. I shouldn't say calling it quits. Calling it, I'm going to move my life on in a different direction and go conquer life, on off the field. So, hey, man, that dude has, he's hit some fucking kicks over the years.
What a guy.
That is, I don't think anyone ever get close to what he did on the field. But just goes to show like what having a great, fantastic kicker will do for your team.
For sure.
You know how many games that guy is not single-handedly, but like single-handedly won at the end.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think
too many to count.
I think that's why Belichick spoke so well, like so nicely about him yesterday. Is just because like if you think about it, it's like when you look at that team, like it's like obviously there's all the different components, right? All the players they've had, all the defense. Like you think of all these guys, but I mean, Vinatieri for that Patriots dynasty is as important as anyone else, and I think they all recognize that, And so, I mean, I don't know who else you could make an argument for that's better than him all time. He's the GOAT. I mean, he's the best kicker of all time in history. Like, I mean, I don't see any other way. Like, think about it. He played in the Super Bowl on multiple teams. Like, he played in the Super Bowl with the Colts as well. Now, granted, they lost, but like he played with like it's like if I remember correctly, or he might even been hurt that game or something like that. But anyway, the point being, like his career spanned like 2 franchises. He got to play with Tom Brady. He got to play with Peyton Manning. He got to play with Andrew Luck, I believe. Like that is incredible, man. And I think like whatever that guy wants to do, like later in his life, like he's probably going to be very successful at. So
do you think he becomes a guest star on the Pat McAfee show?
I
mean, that's his boy.
I mean, he'll probably be on there like a fair amount. You would hope, like, because that is his boy, and like that is kind of, and that's the thing that's kind of cool too. Is like I feel like more casual fans are more familiar with Vinatieri because of Pat, because Pat has such a large audience, and then he talks so like highly about him, right? It's like I think that's helped a lot of people to realize, like, oh man, like. Yeah, like Vinatieri, like is the real deal, man. Like he's like the Iceman. Like when he walks out on the field, you're like, oh fuck, like he's not gonna miss. Like
exactly. And like, and you hear the stories from Pat talk about Adam Vinatieri, which you just know Adam Vinatieri is a great kicker,
Yep.
But then you hear some of the stories like that Pat has told over the years, and you're like, okay, you get to like peek behind the curtain a little bit, and you're like, okay, like. Oh, this guy's actually pretty cool.
Yep.
You get to know him more as a person and not just the greatest kicker of all time type of thing, which I think is pretty awesome. But I think it'd be an interesting dynamic to have Adam Vinatieri on Pat's show, or maybe they start up a new show called The Kicking Corner. Feel free to take that, Pat.
Good.
Feel free to take that. It's Pat McAfee, Adam Vinatieri.
And they just talk about
kicking balls,
special teams.
Like 2 times a week.
That'd be awesome.
They just talk about,
That'd be awesome.
That would be like such an interesting dive into a section of football that they probably could do a great job of, diving down and explaining everything.
No doubt.
That I think the fans would definitely appreciate. So, Pat, if you're listening to this, that somehow this gets on your desk, gets in front of you, feel free to take that idea, The Kicking Corner.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Run with it.